What's going on, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Affirmative Talk Show. We talk about motivational content, we talk about urban news, we talk about sports, and we talk about things that are going on and how I can bring value to each story that I talk about on every episode. Um, this is definitely something that I want to talk about. We're going to be talking about Sergeant Jules Scott. Sergeant Jules Scott this morning. And I definitely want to make sure that I layer it properly by stating first and foremost that these are allegations that are being made. Um, no facts really has come out into the forefront, and I'm also making sure that I say that because there's always two sides to a story, and sometimes you have one side that tells their story, you have the other side that tells their story, and then somewhere in the middle there's the truth in most cases. So I want to make sure that I am mindful to understand is that there's always two sides to a story. Now, with saying that, it's so very important that when there are allegations that are made, accusations that are made that can be egregious, that can be horrible, and that a person is saying that they are fearful for their life, there is a pause for concern. Let me say that again. There is a pause for concern. So I definitely want to share the video that is out on social media where Sergeant Jules Scott felt the need that she needed to go on social media to express her concerns for her life dealing with the military. So I want you to listen to her and hear what she is saying.
Hey y'all, so I just want to get on here real quick and say that if something happened to me, if just real blunt and honest with, if I end up dead, if I end up missing or something like that, just know somebody did it. And I just want to get out here and put something out because I know how the media, I know how my job, being in the military, will paint these false narratives.
I'm going to play it again because it's a short video, but I'm going to play it again so that way you can listen to what she is saying.
Hey y'all, so I just want to get on here real quick and say that if something happened to me, if just real blunt and honest with, if I end up dead, if I end up missing or something like that, just know somebody did it. And I just want to get out here and put something out because I know how the media, I know how my job, being in the military, will paint these false.
Now, on this actual video, it is reported that she said that I am stationed here at Fort Hood for everybody that's asking. It's just me and many officers and my male 1SG and my male commander in my room. I sent an email to the SMA and many more people about the issues at Fort Hood and the shut I have seen and endured. Now they are trying to shut me up. They hacked my phone and trace my location. They are here in my room under law. Is this justified? I am scared for my life. And someone saved these posts. As for my phone access is limited. This is serious. Especially when you see something like that on somebody who is a sergeant in the military, and she felt the need because of she's saying that she's so fearful for her life that the only option that I could only gather in my mind is that she felt she needed to have people to hear her side of the story. Now, let's put this in context. When you sign up for the military, you're signing up knowing that you can be gone off to war, you can possibly get killed, possibly get hurt, and there are a lot of things that go into the military. There are rules, there are regulations, and one thing that the military is big on is following protocol, following orders. So what I want to do is just kind of break it down in chronological order of the story so that way you can form your opinion and tell me, what's your opinion on her story, Sergeant Jules Scott? Do you feel it's fair or foul? Do you feel that she helped her case by going on social media and explaining on how she feel and how she is fearful for her life? Or do you feel that she should have went through the military protocol, whether it's going through JAG or going through, there someone there in the military that she can express her feelings with the situation, what's going on, and handle it internally. So give me your thoughts, because I definitely want to know your thoughts and your feelings towards the story. So let's kind of go in, according to this article, is that Sergeant Jules Scott has made allegations against Fort Hood, and after detailing her recent experiences at the military base located in Texas, the young woman's story has gone viral on social media. Now, Jewel claims that she has been arrested and tormented, and that her life is in jeopardy. Jewel's words prompted a response from the military facility, which stated, "We are aware of the allegations and concerns raised by Sergeant Joel Scott. We take all allegations of misconduct seriously, and commanders will investigate and take action as appropriate. Sergeant Scott is safe and in the care of her unit leadership." Now, they also added that our soldiers can always bring up concerns to their leadership, who will take appropriate action with Army standards and values. Jewel, on the other hand, claims that this is a fabrication. She claims that the only actions taken were to silence her and discharge her. And here's some pictures of Sergeant Jewel Scott. She goes on to say that this is a lie. She said, "I am not in the care of my leadership. The last time I have spoken to my leadership was when they had me illegally arrested by undercovers and taken to the hospital." And what she said, "The hospital discharged me soon after, as it is very obvious to everyone, even the social workers, what's truly going on. My leadership begged them to keep me there after repeatedly being told no by medical professionals. You have not taken one single step to ensure my safety or investigate anything, even when provided hard evidence." This is Joel Scott words. "Instead, after sending out this email as a cry for help after 11 months of fighting this corrupt system and leadership, you had me hawked down like a criminal, arrested and harassed." She went on to say that after being discharged from the hospital, y'all had multiple police show up at my door in my 1SG Debro, and 3 a.m. threatening me of what's going to happen if I leave my room that I am not restricted to. She went on to say in all caps that I couldn't even use the bathroom without someone standing inside of my room outside of my bathroom door. She went on to add it by saying that was the last time I spoken to my leadership, 2 days later, I was informed that I would be discharged in 10 days for misconduct. Now, if you're, discharged and you're not honorably discharged, but you're discharged because of misconduct, I believe you don't have any benefits. So that means all those times the years that you served, and she's a sergeant, you don't get the necessary benefits as if you was honorably discharged. Now, for my people that's in the military, you can respond if this is correct on what I'm saying, because I haven't been in the military. But what I'm stating is that what I want to talk about is that this could be a situation where she can put herself in a hard spot financially, because if she doesn't have the benefits, and obviously from the military standpoint, they're saying you are breaking protocol, you are breaking rank. You know the rules and regulations and policies that we have in place, that if you have a disagreement, what you need to do, Sergeant Jules Scott, is follow the protocol like every soldier that has been communicated when they signed their name on the dotted line that you wanted to be in the military. There are policies and there are protocols that you can take as a soldier, so that way your voice can be heard. This is what's coming from the military side. Now, taking a look at it from a certain perspective, that now she has given the military grounds to discharge her, because she has taken a situation from being an internal process through an external process, which means she has aired out her grievances on social media, which is something that that could be used as being out of protocol as a soldier. And if you're out of protocol, they have rules and guidelines where they can actually discharge you and take away all of your benefits. Now, they went on to say what the military said is that our soldier can always bring their concerns to their leadership. She went on and responded by saying, complete lie. I was denied my right to the open door policy multiple times and have audio to prove each time. No action has been taken except the disgusting efforts to shut me up and discharge me. Mm. You will be held accountable for the pain that myself and many other soldiers that have endured and lost their lives over. More evidence to come. Thanks for your support and love, everyone. Now, Scott originally made the charges in a tale on her Instagram account, where she shared as a story video. Here he is, Sergeant Jules Scott. And I think this is interesting and also an important story to tell, is because, you know, let's just say this. We know that there are many people, and not just in the military, but in life, there are many people that are suffering in silence. There are many people that are in relationships and there are in things where it's causing them their mental peace, and it's causing them to be fearful for their life. This is why I say that, yes, there are two sides to every story, but when you have a story, particularly like this, it does give you a reason for pause, for concern, because at the very least, I want peace on both sides in this situation. At the very least, I don't want her to lose her benefits of being discharged. and not being honorably discharged, but being discharged because of misconduct. Because at the end of the day, to be a sergeant in the military, she put some work in. She put some time in to get to where she's at rank. Now, it appears that she understands what could happen to her. And the reason why I say that, because this is what it says in the article, is that Sergeant Jules Scott set up a GoFundMe campaign to help her adjust back to civilian life. And this is what she said on the Gun GoFundMe campaign. Hey, my name is Jules Scott. I am a sergeant in the U.S. Army stationed here at Fort Hood. While stationed here, I have witnessed awful. For months, I have tried to bring awareness to these things in which Fort Hood continues to cover up and neglect. The soldier wrote on the GoFundMe page, according to the article. She went on to say on the GoFundMe page that once they were made aware that I have been working with news stations, I quickly became a target and person they needed to hush. I'm going to say this is that we're hearing her side of the story. Now, she took her side of the story and she, according to the military, she broke protocol. She took her accusations and made it out to the public world. Now, they probably have processes, once again, in the military, that if there is a situation that you don't like the soldier, is that you supposed to follow the protocol. But based off on what Sergeant Jules Scott is saying, is that she took it through that process. I'm only reporting on what I read. Now, she said she took it through the process, but it was ignored. And so she's saying to herself is that if her accusations wasn't being heard or wasn't being taken seriously, now, and I'm just going by what she's probably thinking. Now I'm thinking that y'all trying to set me up. Y'all trying to put me in a situation in a box to keep me hush. So now what I need to do is take it outside. So someone on the outside can possibly give me a olive branch so that my story can be heard. That's my interpretation. Now, will that go good for her? Because at the end of the day, she signed up for the military. At the end of the day, remember what I said in the beginning, that there's always two sides to every story. You have one side, which is Sergeant Jules Scott is stating what she's stating. You have the other side is what the military is stating on what they're stating. They're stating is that she has a leadership that she can go to openly and talk about her concerns, and that the situation that can be investigated and handled internally. But she had felt a certain way that she could not do that. Now, it goes on to say that she said, in their efforts to do so on May 19th, they informed me that I will be discharged from the military in 10 days. I now have 9 days to transition to the civilian sector without the proper allotted time to establish stability and without any benefits. She goes on to say that please help me reach my financial goal to make this devastating transition a little smoother. Thank you so much. Listen, listen, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many layers to this story. And as soon as I heard the story and I did some of my research on the story, I prayed for Sergeant Jules Scott. I prayed for the military officials. I don't want to see her struggle. I don't want to see her hurt. I don't want to see her being put in a position where she lose all her benefits. As we know, it is tough out here in this world. Let me say this again. As we know, it is tough out here in this world. I recently put out and shared an article that Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, and you can listen to him on Sirius XM on channel 126 of Urban News, where he put out an article, and I'm going to look it up right now so that way y'all can go to my page. I'm available on Facebook, Samuel Richardson III, and you can follow me on Facebook where I put out information. And on this article, he said, if you can't afford to buy a home and you can't afford rent, what do you do? And it's a CNN article that's saying Black buyers are getting squeezed out of the hot housing market. It is a cause for concern. And the reason why I brought up that article is that let's look at it from a perspective of Sergeant Jules Scott. Sergeant Jules Scott worked hard to get where she's at. She's a soldier. She's a soldier that has fought and is fighting for our country, that represents the good side of our country. Now she's in a situation, and I'm only going by what she is saying, and I understand that there's two sides of the story. So when I'm not trying to paint a bad picture from the government perspective, but what I'm bringing is just what we hear and what has been said out in the public to grab hold to. She is stating is that she has tried to go through protocol. She has stated allegations that she is being tormented. She is being threatened. And she feels scared for her life. So by her feeling scared, have anyone that is watching me right now has felt so scared in a situation that you've been in that you felt like that you had to tell somebody outside your comfort zone? Has anybody ever been in a situation where you have been so scared and tormented so you feel like you don't have no one internally that is listening to you, or you can't trust, so now you feel that you have to take it externally and talk to someone that can give you possibly a lifeline or olive branch to get your story out to the masses? I pray for you. I really do. I pray for you. There are people that have been through physical abuse. There are people that has been through verbal abuse. There are people that have been through sexual abuse. There are people that have been shut up because they are dealing with someone or something that is more powerful than them. And they have a muzzle on them. They have a stronghold on them that if they actually make a move to try to discredit them or bring them out, they will be discredited and they will face consequences of trying to tell their truth. I pray for you. Because see, if you never been in situations like that, you don't understand a situation like Sergeant Jules Scott, if it's true. You'll never understand on what it feels like to be terrified. You'll never understand where you are so fearful and you are so tormented mentally that you have PTSD. Now, I do know for a fact that there are a lot of military soldiers that have suffered conditions being involved in the military. I do understand that there are soldiers that are homeless. I do understand is that there are people who have signed up for the military and they're fine when they're actually going in, but then when they checked out, they're not the same person because what they have been through in the military. All I'm saying is that I understand that there are two sides to a story in this situation. I do understand that there are organizations that have protocols, that has steps, that has processes that you must follow and abide by, especially if you are in a leadership position. I have been in leadership positions when I used to work in the workforce as a manager. And I understand, and it was understood for me to follow protocol that if I have a problem with the fellow manager or if I have a problem with the employee, there are steps that I must take in order to move forward or to handle the situation. So I do understand protocol. But what do you do if you feel like what you're saying is not being heard? What do you do when you feel like there are people in high places that is against you? What do you do if you feel so afraid and scared for your life and you feel like somebody needs to hear your story because you feel like something may happen to you? That is a messed up feeling to have. This is why I've been talking about mental health. There are a lot of people that are going through hell, absolute hell, and they are suffering in silence. That's why you can't take situations like this so easily. That's why it does give you a pause of concern, because what I'm saying to you, there are actually people that are suffering in silence. There are actual people that have developed some type of scaredness, some type of PTSD, some type of condition where they about to lose their mind. And you wonder why you have people that take their life because of the pressure that they feel that is being put on them. You will never understand pressure until you're the person that is in the middle of a hot zone. See, this is what I want to explain to my audience. Everybody has a different makeup. Everybody has a different mindset or mindset. Everybody takes situations differently internally. There are some people that are able to brush it off. Then there are some people that can't brush it off. There are some people that are strong enough to be able to seek help to deal what they're dealing with. Then there are some people that don't know how. They can't muster the courage, so they suffer in silence. I tell you this, I pray for every single person that feels like their life is in danger. Because at the end of the day, I'm not in that person's shoes. At the end of the day, I know when someone feels like they're so scared for their life and they need someone to hear them because they're so afraid something may happen to them. That's a hellified feeling to feel. I pray for Sergeant Jewel Scott. I pray for her mind. I pray for her financial stability. I pray for her health. I pray over the military, the Fort Hood. I pray over the situations because what I'm telling you, and this is for my people that believe in a higher power, is that I understand is that prayer changes things. Let me say this again. I understand is that prayer changes things. Communication is so very important. Creating positive solutions is so very important. But let me tell you what else is important. Listening is so very important. Listening is so very important. At the end of the day, people are going to have their feelings and their opinions on this situation. But what I choose to take is that I heard and saw a woman, Sergeant Jewel Scott, that looked like she was scared. And her words, if you listen to her, you have to take it seriously. It's something that you just can't brush aside. But what I will tell you is that when you take steps like this, there will be consequences from it. I will tell you, she mentioned in her story that there are other people that are suffering as well. But let me tell you something, and I'm speaking from experience when I say this. When I used to work in the job force, and when I used to speak up and speak out against the injustices was what's going on within the company internally, I used to follow the processes and go into HR, human resources, on how this person is not handling things the right way. It's depend on who you're talking about. It depends on how much power they have. There is things where there's a power of influence. And you have people that have so much sway, so much power, is that no matter what you say, it can even be truth. Even if it's 80% or 90% truth. But it depends on who you're talking about. Your voice won't be heard. And then I know from experience, it can be turned around on you like you're the issue. It could be turned around on you like you're the problem. It could be turned around on you is that you're the one that's not coachable. You're the one that has the issue. Why you just can't do what your supervisor said you need to do. Why you can't handle it like it is. We understand, but at the end of the day, we're siding with the person because of their position and their power of influence. And then you could be ostracized. And then those same conversations you were having with your fellow coworkers that are going through the same thing, oftentimes they won't stand with you. Because you know why? Because they need to keep a roof over their head. They're saying to themselves that I can't fight that fight because I need my job. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. So I'm not willing to do what you do. And I don't want to be a target on my back because I know if I speak out and say something, even though I am right, I got to shut up and take it because at the end of the day, I got to pay my bills. Let me tell you something. And this is the hard truth. Even when you know that you're right, and you know that you're right, by standing up against the injustices on what's going on the workforce, you have to still understand that there will be consequences that may happen to you. I understand, y'all. I understand. I understand that I know it's not right. I understand, but I'm speaking from experience, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking from experience. You have to be willing to sometimes to take the fall. But that's not for everybody. You have to be willing sometimes to tell the truth because guess what? The truth will set you free. And sometimes with telling the truth, you have to understand that comes with responsibility. Because I understand you may have good intentions because you don't want the next Samuel Richardson to go through what you've been through. You don't want the next person to go through what you've been through. You got good intentions. You have a good heart. And I know that you have other people that are looking to you that are your coworkers and they're going through the same thing. And I know that because they've been talking to you. But sometimes you got to be willing to walk down that road yourself. You can't expect for other people to have the courage that you have. Sometimes you got to have the courage of your own convictions. What's going to give you a peace of mind? What's going to set your mind free? That's what I did. I'm only speaking from experience. Sometimes the messenger have to take the biggest fall. I understood that I got railroaded because I spoke the truth. I got labeled because I spoke the truth. I had people that ostracized me out, that I couldn't be involved in meetings anymore because I spoke the truth. I couldn't move up in leadership anymore because I spoke the truth. I was ridiculed by the same co-workers that was having the same issues. They didn't talk to me anymore because I spoke the truth. Understand, y'all, it's not easy speaking your truth. And your truth will bring consequences. And sometimes in those consequences, it may not be what you're looking for. But the thing that you have to take solace in is that you know that you spoke your truth, that you know that there's a higher power that will help you. I'm a firm believer is that my higher power will never put more on me than I can bear. I'm speaking from experience. I've seen it. I've seen it. How I know that he got me. I've seen it because of the covering he's had over my family. I've seen it because I know where he brought me from, me and my family. I've seen it because I know what we've been through and how he has taken us through it. See, I understand that there has been some situations that is not by my might, but it's been the higher power might that he's been able to have a covering over me and my family. You know, the song is I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. You know, the song that is by God's grace. It's by God's grace and mercy that I've been able to make it through. So at the end of the day, I pray for Sergeant Jules Scott. I pray from the military perspective is that there is peace and understanding. Because at the end of the day, I don't want her to suffer. At the end of the day, there are two sides to every story. I want to make sure that I'm very clear on that. I understand that she has her side, and I totally understand that the military has their side. But what I pray for right now is that they are able to come together and create a positive solutions on both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Affirmative Talk Show, where we talk about motivational, inspirational content. We talk about sports. We talk about urban news. We talk about things that should make you think and understand and bring some type of value from the stories that I share. I'm committed to it, and I hope you're committed to being the best version of you. Take care and always have a blessed day.
Hey, experience can't be bought. This the energy you want. Yeah, this affirmative talk. Hey, destined for greatness, that's for certain. Time to build your life with purpose. Build your self-esteem and courage. Right now, it's a lifestyle, that's for sure. Good vibes and meditation from a real life coach. Let them know. Affirmations help to